What up, blessed team? How y'all doing today? I hope all is well. But most importantly, you are having a very productive day, right? So as always, please take the time to spend those quality moments and those quality experiences with the people you love, right? You can put the phone down for a little bit. I know you love your favorite content creator, but those are not the people that will be at your funeral. Those are going to be the people that are close to you, right? Acquaintances, friends, family, mom, dad, uncles, nephews. Reach out and say hello. And if you definitely cannot put the phone down, I strongly suggest that you find a way to call and reach out to someone and say hello. They tend to appreciate these type of things a lot. All right. If this is your first time coming across my podcast and you're wondering, who am I? My name is Sam Arkoh, born and raised in Ghana. My mission and my goal with this podcast is to inspire 1 billion people to become a better version of themselves through insightful conversations about fitness, nutrition, as well as personal growth advice, right? Now, when it comes to the fitness stuff, we like to focus more on helping you lose weight, build muscle, that kind of thing. And then when it comes to nutrition, I like to help you find diversity in your overall nutrition. So you're not getting bored of those 2 recipes that you have. I want to make sure you have something that's sustainable for the long haul, right? We also talk about how to really shop for groceries so you can actually lose weight. A ton of people are buying a ton of high caloric dense foods and it's causing them not to be able to lose weight. I spend a lot of time talking about that as well. And when it comes to personal growth, we keep it very practical, right? So we're talking about habits and discipline because I ultimately believe these are the foundation for all success in all aspects of life. So if you're out there and you want to lose weight, you want to build muscle, or overall you want to gain a certain level of confidence so you can go after your big goals, your big dreams and aspirations, then I promise you this is the right podcast for you, all right? So thank you so much for tuning in and welcome to the Sam Arkoh Pod. So as many of you saw the title already, depending on what platform you're listening to this on, we're talking about how to find your passion and purpose in life, right? And specifically, we are talking about 4 things that you can use to really help you identify these passions and purpose in life, right? But before I talk about any of those things, I want to spend a few minutes letting you all know that if you cannot figure out what your purpose is, if you cannot figure out what your passion is, I strongly suggest that you don't just waste time thinking about it. And I will talk more about it when we get to the end of the podcast as it relates to the quote of the week, because most people are waiting for God to bestow things on them, right? They're waiting for everything to just go right. And one day they wake up in their dream and figure out that, oh, this is what I was meant to do. You need to start doing something, right? You gain a level of clarity. You're able to figure out the path as you gain a certain level of momentum. So do not wait. Take some sort of action. Any action is better than nothing at all. All right. Let's talk about the first thing on the list that I believe will help you find your passion. And I put this as the first one on purpose. And that is building a robust skill set that have utility. All right. It's important that you don't just build any kind of skill set. You want to build a robust skill set that have utility, which means you can provide some sort of value to someone and then be able to get something back for it. Now, why am I saying this and how is this actually going to help you find your passion, right? Let's say you don't know what you're supposed to do, but there is an avenue. Let's say you're a person out there that love basketball, for instance, right? Maybe you don't want to jump into the NBA. What you can do is find an area, a profession, a career path inside the NBA that you can pursue, right? Work on it as hard as possible and gain a level of proficiency. Once you become elite and find a way to actually do it for a very sustained time and then add value to other people and generate some sort of income or revenue, I'm telling you, you are absolutely going to be able to start saying that I am passionate about what I'm doing. I mean, it is almost hard to find someone that have been doing something for a very long time, that is extremely sharp at doing that particular thing, that also is able to make money, that don't have passion or don't think that's one of the things that they can find meaning from. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you out there and you're struggling to really determine what these are, or you don't think that you have any potential, any talents or gifts, then I strongly suggest that you find something that you know you will like a little bit, right? Something that you already know, okay, I like marketing, and then go into that aspect and spend a lot of time getting better every day. Once you become really good at it and use it to help other people, and you see that you are making incremental difference in other people's life, I promise you, you will begin to develop some sort of passion. This is actually what happened to me. Like in the beginning, when I started doing videos, I didn't say that was my passion, But over time, as I became very proficient and I developed that skill set in terms of overall communication, on-camera presence, overall delivery, storytelling, once I started getting better and then found a way to add value to people's life, you start telling yourself that you have some sort of passion. You found your purpose. So start, build that skill set and find a way to build a skill set that actually have utility. That way you can make a difference in other people's life. And as long as you keep doing that, you will find some sort of passion for that particular thing. Number 2 is exploring a lot of your interests, right? This is something that a ton of people miss out on when it comes to finding their passion. Like they will go try one thing, and then because they did not excel at, they just give up on life and say, oh man, I can't find my passion. I don't even think I have any talent. But that's not the case. You need to explore as many of them as possible, right? Example again is like, let's say you love soccer, right? Let's say you love baseball, or maybe you love filmmaking. You don't even have to become a filmmaker, or you don't have to become a photographer, or you don't have to play in the NBA or play in professional baseball league. You don't have to do any of those. Remember, there are subsets of different professions and career path inside these industries, right? So if you have a certain type of interest and you toss yourself into it, or if you explore so many different interests in these particular areas, you will find one thing in that profession that you like, right? It doesn't have to be playing professionally. You might become a GM for that particular soccer team or football team or NBA team. Do you see what I'm saying? But you got to give yourself a chance to find something you love. If you only try 2 things or 3 things and you tell yourself that, man, these are not my thing, and you give up, that's not a solution. Try as many things as possible. Think about all the things you are interested in, right? And the range could vary in so many ways. It's absolutely irrelevant. You are trying to give yourself the best chance to find something that you have love for, something that's fulfilling, something that's meaningful. And all I'm asking you is, if you cannot develop a robust skill set, look at things that you are already naturally interested in, the things that you love so much since you were a kid, and explore. And when you explore, you tend to find something in that particular industry that you love so much. All right. The third one on the list is seeking inspiration. This is one of those things that really helped me a lot in the beginning, right? And how can you use that to really help you find your purpose? So even though I had a decent idea of what I wanted to do in terms of creating content, some of the people that really inspired me and made me figure out if I was on the right path was guys like Ed Milet, E.T., Tony Robbins, Les Brown. The list goes on and on, right? So what I would like you to do is that if you're not sure, you're not certain about what your purpose or the direction to go, or maybe you simply feel lost in life, find those individuals that are doing the thing that you're doing already, the people that you admire so much. When you listen to them through their books and documentaries, podcasts, interviews, they will give you a lot of insights as to exactly what they did to get to where they are. And if you are smart enough, you can extract some lessons from there and use it to figure out where you need to go. This is something I don't want you to underrate at all, right? It's very helpful figuring out what your purpose are, right? If somebody's already where you need to be, and if they can give you insight or guidelines or steps and procedures that could help you figure this out, I believe it can become useful in directing you on your own path as you head towards passion and purpose in life. All right. The last one on this list, we're talking about reflecting on your talents, your gifts. That's something that we all know, right? When it comes to passion, it's one of the easiest avenue. And again, I decided to put this last on purpose because I ultimately don't want people to focus on waiting on some supernatural thing to be bestowed on them to find out what their purpose is, right? We are humans. We can create meaning in things. There's so many things that you can find fulfilling if you are willing to attain a certain level of mastery and then become excellent and use it to help people. So don't just wait on your talent. But for the sake of this particular topic, it's one of those things that could be very helpful, right? If you don't know exactly what to do, you don't know how to build a skill set, but you have natural inklings, right? Maybe you have leadership inkling, right? Maybe you're a type of person that you're drawn to marketing. You're a type of person that's drawn to computers, right? You have to explore these things, right? It's one of those ways that if you dive yourself into it, like if you love computers, for example, and you start working for a computer company that maybe do software programming, website design, and all those type of things, you will eventually find out something there that you love so much. And the people that are very talented, that also work extremely hard on their skill set and polish it day in, day out, I'm telling you, these individuals are lethal. So don't just depend on your talent, even though it's going to be the gateway that helps you figure out what your passion and your purpose is. I don't want you to solo depend on that, right? I want you to tap into that, work on it consistently. And as long as you continue to do that, you're always going to have that advantage. All right. So before we get to the quote of the week, right? This is what I want to tell you. Passion and purpose in life, as I said earlier, these are things that you shouldn't just waste time trying to figure it out, right? Even though these guidelines are going to help you, the main thing I tell people is, what is the first 1 or 2 steps that you can take that will give you a little bit of direction, a little bit of organization, right? Because most of you that are going to see this episode or this video is because you feel lost in life, right? You don't know where to go. You don't know what direction to take. And you're trying to figure out what is the next step that I can take to get me where I'm trying to go. And I'm saying, whatever that first step is, it could be as simple as maybe you're trying to go to college. And the first step could be calling the school to find out, can you even have admission to that school? Maybe you want to work at a music industry. The first step could be maybe you could just buy a microphone. Don't try to wait for God or some special thing to direct you, because God already gave us enough power. Use it, right? We are the ultimate adaptation machines, and we could do so many things that most of us cannot even imagine. I always say this all the time, like epigenetics has given us advantage. There is so many skill sets, traits, characteristics that we all possess that we don't know, but it only get revealed when we start going after things. So start trying, start taking the first step. Maybe you just want to start creating content like I'm doing right now. You can start at home by recording on your phone. You have to start, right? Don't wait. Waiting is not going to solve anything. If you start, you get to discover what you're not good at, and then you can gradually improve that over time. Let's talk about the quote of the week. It's by Marie Forleo. This is what she said. You cannot land your passion thinking about it in your head. Oh, it's actually interesting that we were just talking about that. You cannot land your passion thinking about it in your head. Take actions and your passions will be clear. Again, take actions and your passion will be clear. That is so true, right? There's no reason sitting around trying to figure out the ultimate first step that will unleash all your greatness. You unleash your greatness with consistency. You unleash your greatness with obsession. You unleash your greatness when you become disciplined. So you got to start. I don't care how terrible you are. I don't care how good you're not, because if you are going for mastery, which I hope that's what you're going for, then all you need is time. It's a matter of time before you get to a certain level where you're so elite, and then you can start educating other people about that same particular thing. But if you sit around thinking about it in your head, like, man, I want to become a CEO of Apple one day, that's not how you figure out what your passion is. You start with what you can do. You start by taking action. As you begin to take incremental actions every day, God begins to pave the way. Nature begins to pave the way, and you begin to see things like, oh, I think I like that. I think I'm interested in this. I believe I can build this skill set. It's just a matter of time. But none of those things are going to happen if you just sit around and think about it, right? It's just in your head. At least what you can do is write it down. And then from there, you start taking small actions. And most people, when it comes to their passion, they think they need to figure out all of it at once, right? This is a process that for me took me a long time to get here. And I had inklings of me being able to educate people and do this type of thing as a young kid. And that took me a long time to still figure out if this is what my purpose was. And so the best thing I recommend for most of you out there that feel lost in life right now, that feel like you don't know what to do, this is what I did for me. I just started exercising because I knew that if I started exercising, I'll feel better. And at that time, I needed to get in shape. So that's where I started from. And then eventually I started doing fitness content because I became very proficient at that. I started training people, helping people lose weight, build muscle. This whole entire thing is a process. But if you wait, 5 years is going to pass, 7 years is going to pass, and you will be at the same spot. But if you start right now, even though you might not know exactly what the purpose is or exactly what the passion is, whatever you're drawn to, right? Start from there right now. And then when you take those actions, like I said, the road becomes clear. Stop thinking. Most of us, if we kept doing things, we'd be way ahead of our life than where we are right now. But we keep thinking. imagining all the possibilities and how it could go wrong instead of focusing on how things could actually go right. So I need you to spend time building that skill set. I need you to spend time exploring a lot of your interest. Spend a ton of time listening to books, documentaries, and seek inspiration from people that already are at where you want to be. This is an advantage. And if none of those things work, you can always rely on your talents and your gifts and use that, polish those things to find a purpose in life. But you need to remember that your purpose, your meaning in life is created by you. You have the power to do that, right? So instead of waiting for a divine something, which we love God on this channel, we'll continue to love God. But instead of waiting some divine intervention, start taking actions. He created you in his own image. You got the power. If you take the actions, you're going to start noticing that there is a path being paved right now. There's an avenue for you that you can shine. There is something inside of you that you don't even know yet. So start moving. All right. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned a lot. And I know, as I always say, I know you did. But the most important thing is not listening to the episode. The most important thing that I want for every one of you that will listen to this episode, because I know you probably feel lost, is to take the actions, right? If you haven't explored a lot of interest, give yourself a chance to explore that. If you never really dedicated a whole year trying to build a robust skill set that have utility so you can add value to somebody's life, focus on at least doing one skill set, which is going to make a tremendous difference. And if you can't do that as well, like I said, seek inspiration through documentaries, books, interviews, podcasts, etc., and etc. Give yourself a chance to find your passion, right? It doesn't have to be just one thing. If you need to do 100 things, do just that to find what your purpose is. Because we're talking about dreams. We're talking about purpose. We're talking about fulfillment. This is not going to happen overnight, but you need to start exploring. That way you give yourself the best chance to find what you're looking for. Share the episode with someone that you love and care for so much, because we all know there's somebody out there that feel lost right now that's trying to figure out what their passion and their purpose is. Stay blessed, but most importantly, stay out of trouble. And I'm going to catch y'all next Thursday, all right?